How you doing, everybody? Jack's here. Um, Humbly apologize. I'm still having major issues over here. Uh, as a matter of fact, Vern's having issues too, so I have no idea. It got to be between Google and YouTube. It's got to be a better system than this. I just don't know. But anyways, we're going to talk about demons and poltergeists. Are they one and the same? First, I want to introduce my co-founder of East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators, Dave.
Hey.
And Vern.
Hi.
Yeah, Poltergeists and Demons. What do you guys think? You think they're one and the same?
I don't think so.
I think they're similar.
I think that's
but they're different. Different characteristics.
How so?
Well, the activity, I mean, I can point out the similarities first, because it is tough to kind of distinguish them from poltergeist or demon or demonic activity. They both are associated with objects moving and pretty much manipulation of pretty much your surroundings. Poltergeists are definitely devious, but I mean, I think demons just have a different. There's some things they do that poltergeists obviously can't do.
Yeah, it tends to
back.
See, if it's a demon, it kind of like mimics other spirits to help you, or to get you to help them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like it could mimic a child, and you think you're going to be helping a child, and the whole time you're helping it.
Yep, it's how it tricks you into letting it into your household, your life, and once you give it permission, it's very tough to get rid of.
Yeah, it's yeah. What do you guys? What do you think about? Oh, Vern, what's your point on it? What do you think?
I think the demons can possess people, and poltergeists don't possess people necessarily. I think they're the only similarity that I would say is that the supernatural activity that occurs with them, with stuff being moved and all that. But I believe it, the demonic is like, where you have a priest and an exorcist and stuff like that, where they actually exorcise them from people and stuff, where the poltergeists are like an entity that's different. They don't possess people, I don't believe. I think they attach themselves to people, but they don't possess them necessarily. You know what I mean? Where the person manifests and becomes like, deranged and in classic possession. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's I mean, as far as a poltergeist, I don't know. I haven't witnessed a poltergeist myself. Yes, demons are non-human entities or spirits, correct?
Yeah.
Ford 72, how you doing?
I gotta restart again. Damn
it. Thing is with poltergeists, I do you think, okay, Here's what I think. I think a poltergeist is just like a regular human spirit that's sitting there trying to get the attention of someone in the residence or business, and they tend to not be seen or heard or not paid attention to by the resident, and that's when everything starts escalating so they can get more attention.
Right.
I mean, what do you guys think of that theory?
Yeah, I would say that the poltergeist part, it could be a spirit or something like that. You know, I mean, like even I've even heard that they can be like a pet or something like that too, if that's makes sense, like a close pet. You know, something somebody humanized quite a bit. You know, like I know, like I had a yellow lab, and she was very humanized, you know, as far as a lot of dogs. You know, she didn't even think of herself as a dog. She thought of herself as one of us. You could tell when she was around other dogs, you know, she was like, I don't want nothing to do with that. That's a dog, you know? So if anything, I would think that, you know, you have a dog that's really close like that, you might have that type of activity, or children maybe, you know, that pass on or whatever. They have a lot of energy and stuff like that, and they're lost, or they're stuck, or they're waiting for a parent to pass to go, you know, take them wherever they have to go. You know, I don't know. I mean, you can speculate forever and ever, but
Dave,
go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. I mean, poltergeists, like I mentioned earlier, they have a lot of similarities, but the one thing that separates them from demonical presence is things happen in threes when there's a demon or demonic presence affecting it, whereas the poltergeist activity can happen as much as it can, as like frequently as it can, whereas like poltergeist could knock 5-6 times, whereas if it's a demonical, it will have 3 knocks and then nothing else. Or you could have something happen 3 nights in a row and then nothing happens at all in the same nature. So it could be like the same thing for 3 straight nights. Like let's say you have a bad nightmare or something, happens 3 straight nights in a row, and then there's nothing. It's an early tell that there could be a demonic presence affecting you or something like that. Things always happen in threes, and that's the easiest way to decipher, usually, in between them both. I mean, sometimes they might overlap, but more often than not, though, you're going to come across a poltergeist activity.
Does that have something to do with the Trinity or something? Is that the thought process with
from what I can tell from the research I've been doing, it's got a lot to do with that.
I see. That's interesting. I've heard something about the 3 knocks and stuff that, you know, that also associated with some people that have reported with, interactions with what they believe to be aliens or whatever grays. I've heard that 3 knocks were involved for some reason. I heard that on Art Bell, I think, years and years ago. I don't know how accurate that was, because I know Art Bell did a lot of hoaxing too. But anyway,
that does make sense, because 3 knocks, 3 scratches, that totally makes sense. Sean saying, well, Ford 72 said always in threes. Most likely, chances are, yes, it's always going to be in threes.
Yep.
And then Sean I'd say the threes isn't a sure shot.
Might not always be a sure shot, but it's definitely a very early indicator that you might have something like that going on. And it always starts off very subtle.
And then he said, definitely an indicator, mocking the Trinity. And then he said, I had rhythmic knocking, tapping, and scratching in my room.
Ooh.
That's not good, Sean.
That stuff's associated with poltergeist too, which is why it's so sometimes difficult to decipher between the two, because they're so similar and there's just very little subtle differences.
But yeah, but it's I don't know. It's real. I think it's hard to decipher too, because you get they're so close to like mirroring each other that it's kind of, you got to really know what you're doing and try to really figure out what's going on as far as either one goes, because it's no, Sean's saying even on the window that's old single pane, if someone hit the glass, would it break?
It would break.
But the thing is that demonics like to mimic, and so do poltergeists. I've never heard of a poltergeist mimicking, though.
Hmm.
Have you heard that theory, Dave? Yeah, we can hear you.
I think I've heard a couple instances of it. It's not common. I know that.
Are poltergeists ever known to have seriously injured or killed anybody?
Not that I can remember, but I'm not saying that it's never happened.
Demonic, I've heard of it happening, where they believed it was demonic, but I don't know how accurate that was. But
Sean says if the poltergeist is intelligent or evil, they play games. And then Ford 72 said, "Can poltergeist still be an evilish entity?" Sean said, "Usually, probably Vern."
what? I can't even get onto the chat right now, so
And Sean says, "I'd say poltergeist isn't an entity, just an action." And then Ford 72 said, "I would suppose if they wanted to, they might be able to cause harm." And then Sean says, "I meant like I agree with you. Agree, yes, Vern."
okay.
But actually, earlier today, I mean, as far as demonic entities go and possession, I was actually sent a link today. Actually, a couple links talking about the Catholic Church, and they have authorized for more exorcists in the Catholic Church because possession
And what does that tell you?
possession is on the rise.
Possession is 9/10 the law, my friend.
What? How many cases did they have last year?
Well, and I think that article said I think it was Italy alone, there were reported up to 500,000 a year.
Wow.
Which I'm
That's
sure
just
not all of
amazing.
those are valid. There's probably some that were poltergeists, but still, there's just that possibility. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a lot. But then there is a lot of people, so in actuality, you know, to the population of the Earth and all that, it's actually a very small number. Less than a percent, even though it's a large number to us or whatever in the whole, you know, scheme of things. It's probably no different than it was throughout history, you know, when there was less people, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the movies and all that are contributing to a lot of
Yeah, that's
everything
true.
going
You
on.
know,
People are their minds are
true.
influenced a little bit more.
Yeah. Trained to accept it, maybe even or to receive it, you know, like as a receptor, you know. I mean, like if it is true or whatever, they could be that they're planting this in people, you know, or whatever the beginning of the possession by doing it through television and other mass media, maybe even cell phones. Kind of, who knows?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things they can do with cell phones too, that they more so than just, you know, using them with the cell phone, that they could actually use the towers for weapons even.
Yeah, Sean said like the highest form of paranormal activity before possession. And then he goes on to say, I'm sure people claim to be possessed by evil people like Ed Glenn and
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein. Oh, you see? Okay. Sorry, I didn't see the eye.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah, Ed Gein, that case with the Ed
Go ahead.
Gein, that's what the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based off of.
Oh. Yeah, I wonder how much technology might be disturbing the other side, you know, with all the microwave activity and everything else and cell phones, and whether they could actually like be like a marker or something that they could actually, you know, you're carrying around a cell phone and maybe makes you visible to them on the other side. You know, I don't know. I'm just speculating, but since, you know, everything is in wavelengths, everything that, you know, the universe and every atom and everything. And
I mean, I'd never actually thought of it that way. I mean, this cell phone's portable power wherever you go. You could you could be feeding activity anywhere, really. Something
the high end cell phones, they have, you know, magnetometers in there that are almost as accurate as $2,000 EMF meters and stuff. And I've checked them on the stuff. That's only the real high end phones. But I mean, if that is capable of receiving, it's capable of sending stuff out too. And that's on the same wavelength as the entities are, because they can read them. You know, so I'm just saying that it's like, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to say that's something that investigators, when they go on investigations, they prove all the time, because their equipment always goes dead.
Yep. Have you ever had them flash your cell phone, like put a message on your machine, or flash your phone on and off? Have you ever had that happen?
No.
Yeah, I've had it happen when I've been out, you know, with in the field and stuff. Actually, not on the last phones that I had, but the first phone I had was a Samsung Stratosphere. It was a lower end phone, you know. And I'd be out there and I'd see the orbs, and they'd get pretty close to me, and all of a sudden my phone would turn on and off. And then when it turned back on, there was a message on there, and there was nothing there. There was just a blank message. There was no record of a message ever being delivered or anything like that, but it said it on there, you know, that I could actually go and there was nothing. So I thought that was interesting too. I don't know what those things were, but but they were like orbs. They were an orb-like looking thing. I mean, they were just like lights that were flying along pretty close by. You know, they weren't extremely bright, but they were clearly, you know, visible. And they're like a ball. They were very big, about the size of a baseball, softball, maybe not very big. But they put off a lot of EMF too. Those things, all those things that I've encountered up there, high amounts of EMF, just off the chart, just humongous.
Mm-hmm.
Probably potentially harmful, you know, like levels, I'd imagine.
Yes.
If it is harmful.
Yes, people can come down with cancer from that if they're exposed to it too long.
It's like being nuked, I guess, huh?
No, but it's I mean, as far as, yeah, it could be. I mean, high EMF, that's especially in the house, or even if the house is located underneath high tension wires.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about anything from that people could get, you know, like they can start feeling nausea and they can come down with rashes and scratches and feelings of being watched and what else am I missing, Dave?
Paranoia, that goes in with the feelings of being watched. Headaches. Could even have sleep loss in severe cases anyway.
All the above. Check and check.
It depends. Orbs aren't always the product of high EMF. Orbs can also be nothing but bugs, moisture.
What the hell? It happened again. I was unnotified on the channel now. I went on here the other day, made sure that I was subscribed, made sure that I had that bell, you know, checked or whatever. And I just went on and it's not the notification's undone. But I am still subscribed at least. I'm just letting you know. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
Hey,
that's why I'm not getting notifications.
Mr. DB Cooper 77. How you doing, brother? Oh yeah, no doubt. Orbs do use the EMF to appear or exist. Correct. But most of the time, I mean, I mean, you can even ask Dave on this. When we don't really like to use orbs as evidence because there's so many other things that it could be that you're going to be extremely careful on what you're producing as evidence. And the thing is that, like I was saying, it could be bugs, it could be dust, it could be moisture, it could be insulation.
Spider webs give off, if they hit a certain amount of light, they give off like a orb-like circle or reflection. I've seen that happen a few times.
Yeah, this is definitely not reflections or anything. Yeah, because where I'm at, there's not even any city lights. There's no lights at all. I mean, you can put yourself in a position to look at lights, but a lot of the places that I'm down in there, it's all, you know, rugged wilderness. It's the woods. And these things travel on the ridges. And at first I thought it was something to do with power lines or whatever. And then to find out, you know, when it became daytime, there were no power lines. So I was like, okay, so that back to the drawing board. And they were out there for months. I mean, every night for months. And it went on for years, but I mean, I didn't go out there. Like in the summertime, I spent more time up in the mountains. It was a little too hot out there and the fire danger and stuff. But all through 8 or 9 months of the winter and the colder months, that they were out there every night, those things, from about like 2013 to 2016, 2015, 2016. And I just haven't been out there that much. My truck's been broken down and stuff, the one I used to use for four-wheeling. And so I just haven't had the opportunity to go out too much lately. But I don't know. My girlfriend's mother had mentioned these lights or whatever out of the blue, that they were chasing her as a child all the time. She really was scared of them and fear of them. And I don't know why she mentioned it all, but she described them to a T, the same things that I saw out there. And she was around 5 or 6, she said, when it was going on. And I think she's around 58 or 59 now. And so if that's true, then it's been going on for over 50 years out there, out over here. So, and probably even longer than that, probably going back eons, I mean, I'd imagine, because they have stories, they're Native American. So they have stories going back, through the tribe and all that. And they've known about them. The elders mentioned them all the time. And they were as long, I mean, they have stories going back probably 4 or 5 generations of encounters with extraterrestrials and stuff, to the point where they actually taught through the generations that they were actually taken at one point and put into a cave. They said it was in a cave or something like that or whatever, and that there was something happened to the earth or whatever, and then they were brought back and they were protected by them too. So that's weird. Sort of the same time frame, as a flood and all that other stuff,
Yeah.
It's amazing how many cultures have stories of it, all throughout the world. Their own way of speaking about it, but, something happened.
Kind of sounds like he's talking about Puckwedgies.
It does a little bit.
Puckwedgie.
Yeah, Puckwedgie is like a little elemental that takes care of the land. And they're supposed to be about 3.5 foot tall. And the facial features are supposed to resemble Native Americans. Yes, a Puckwedgie. Pukwudgie.
Oh, you were braver than me to try to spell that.
I did spell it right, didn't I? I think I did.
I'm trying to figure that out now.
Pukwudgie. Puckwedgie.
Yeah, you got it right. Thanks. I probably still would have messed that up.
I just learned to live with it. It's just it's been going on for such a long time in my life that I that's what I do. I just kind of move on. I don't let it, it's in my mind. I remember everything, especially now, but I just live with it. It's just part of my life. It's like, having breakfast.
Miranda X has a question for you, Vern.
Yeah, I was just answering it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
think that you could see it.
Yeah. Like I said, I've experienced this stuff my whole entire life, and it goes through phases where it's like very, very busy and stuff, and I just, I'll go a few years or whatever. It's more and more accumulated. The older I've gotten, the more experience I have, the more I've pursued it now. Like it's, I guess, from reverse, you thinking when you're younger and stuff. But when I was younger, I was more, I would guess, when I was really younger, I'd be more in fear of it. The stuff would scare me. And so I didn't want to think about it or whatever because I didn't want to have bad dreams and things like that. So I just moved on. Like I had friends that, and all whatever. When you're a little kid, you just reason stuff differently. And as I got in like my mid-20s and I went through that whole escapade and all that, it totally changed me. I mean, fundamentally changed me. I mean, completely. Where I had to go around and justify everything I did in my life and all that stuff because I had to make sure that I was on the right side of things, of the truth, and not, screwing up like I had been doing throughout my life or whatever. And so I'd say, fundamentally it changed me that way. And then as it, the things go on or the time goes on, it's like now it's become a fascination where I want to know what it is, what's going on. And so that's pretty much where I'm at now. I mean, there's no question what I've seen is real. There's no question that I've seen into another world that I used to believe or not believe existed. And now I know it exists. It's different for me than probably most other people because I know things that exist that most people believe or don't believe in. It's like, believing in Bigfoot or whatever. If you have an encounter with Bigfoot, it changes. It's no longer you believe in it. It exists, And I've met people here, that are convinced, they've seen things or whatever like that. And they know it exists, and I'm not going to, tell them that they're full of crap or whatever, because that'd be ignorant, because if they really do exist, then who am I to say anything? You know what I mean? And
yeah.
The last person I talked to about that type of stuff or whatever, who told me the story and everything, was so convincing that I would have to say that if I was going to believe anybody, I'd believe him, because he was so unlikely in the way he came about it. I mean, he was from a different area of the world completely and had no idea about these things or whatever, and got surrounded by them. You know what I mean? So, stranger things have happened. And if there's, Puckwedgies or whatever, that's, one name for it, one, description, there's, I don't know. I'm not going to say they do or they don't exist, because I've seen so many things now that I thought never existed that exist now. I know exist. That, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you supposed to do? Except I'm fascinated by it. I'm like, it's an obsession, I'm going to pursue them until I die, so I have answers or whatever. They take me for a ride. If they were taking me for a ride, but I want to have a conscious dream, remembering. I want to go around Saturn and stuff and check out the rings, It's just one of those things. But
Yeah, Ford 72, can Puckwedgies be seen? Sometimes you can see them.
Yep.
There was actually a case. I'm sorry?
The South American videos with the little guy running around, are those Puckwedgies, you think, or are they trolls or something else? Or
is that the one that looked like it had big long rabbit ears?
There's like a couple of them. There's like that one that walks sideways, it sidesteps, and it was like about a foot tall. And the people freaked out when they saw it and they ran, and it was just weird looking.
This one is the one I seen is they killed this thing and they had it. He's holding it and it had big eyeballs and long ears. It was flesh colored. Kind of looked like a hobbit, but it was very small.
Huh. Well, Puckwedgies, whatever. It's.
I don't think it was in South America.
I'm sure that elementals are called different things in many different cultures. So whatever the name is, they're probably pretty close to the same entity, I would think.
Yeah, I believe there's species that we don't even know exist yet, man.
There's something out there that exists that attacked my balloon 3 times that I don't know what it is.
Not just species, but different frequencies, different dimensions.
Yes. Yes, they're protectors. Yes, they are protectors of the earth. That's what they do. And you got to show them respect, or else if you don't show them respect, they end up being mischievous, like a gremlin, so to speak.
Didn't people talk of them before as like genies? Mischievous? Like how they were small. They could grant wishes if you could capture one. Like even the story of the leprechaun.
Well, there's a thing out in Ireland. They
The little people.
yeah, it's like the fairies over in Ireland, living in the fairy mounds.
I remember watching a cartoon with my daughter when she was younger. It was called David the Gnome. And he lived in this tree and shit. It was pretty how he would teach children right from wrong and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that kind of remind me of like how fairies are or leprechauns and how you were saying about that character. What was it called again? The Puck something.
Puckwedgie?
Puckwedgie. Yeah. Yeah, that kind. I don't know.
Well, from what I understand, I mean, the name Puckwedgie that's Wampanoag, isn't it, around here?
I believe
Dave?
so. I think so. I'm looking it up now.
Is this a fact if I ask you this? Van or Canada supplies you guys with a Christmas tree every year.
That is correct.
Holy shit. I thought that was a fake thing. Wow.
Right. So the Puckwedgie originated from the Wampanoags and Delaware folklore. And it translates roughly to little wild man of the woods that vanishes.
Little wild guy of the woods that vanishes.
Yep.
That kind of yeah. Like I was saying before, like the leprechaun theory. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of fits a little bit.
And that's okay, so that my theory that it must be called something else somewhere other place, like if there's other Native American tribes, like say in Arizona, they must call it something else then. Because I brought up there's this other channel that I watch sometimes, and I brought up, have you ever ran into a Puckwedgie? And they answered me back like almost immediately. And it's like, what the heck is a Puckwedgie? I'm like, really? You don't know what a Puckwedgie is?
Yeah, I never heard of that, man.
Yeah, that's because that name is only like around here in Delaware.
It's in the Northeast, pretty much. East Coast.
Well, I'm in Pennsylvania, and I don't know. I don't think I heard similar stories, but never anything about that name.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, I ain't very old either. I'm only 37, or well, 38 now. Yeah, So I have a lot to learn still.
Yes, Mr. DB Cooper, a demon can claim to be a child just to lure you in, because most people, if they know that there's a child that needs help, most people are going to bend over backwards to help that child.
Yep.
Whether if it's a live child or a spirit child, they're gonna bend over backwards to help that, whatever it is.
Yep.
And that's
Now,
a fact.
On the other part of the question, does it just take its shape? For the most part, it can, but it's a lot of demonologists theorize that a demon can never take a full human form. It'll always be at least one imperfection. The most common, of course, being black eyes, the straight like black eyes, and that's the most common. It could be something subtle, maybe missing a finger, a hand, just little imperfection. It can never fully take on a human-like form.
Now, do you think? Let me ask you this, Dave. Do you think that it would be like the black-eyed children type of thing?
There might be some correlation there. I'd say there's definitely some correlation there, in my opinion.
Because about 4 weeks ago, we did a show on black-eyed children. Actually, I think you were on that, weren't you?
I might have been. Or I might have tried to get on that when I was having difficulties.
Yeah. But we got some interesting cases. I want to start talking a little bit about our team, East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators. We got several cases coming up, lined up. One big case that would be absolutely huge for us would be the S.K. Pierce Mansion. And Dave has been in contact with them to try to get us in there, and we have been penciled in. That is not a definite date, correct, Dave?
As of right now, it's as definite as we can get, especially since people are booking travel plans around it. So,
Okay.
I'd say the date's locked in. It's just making sure we can get enough people from our teams in there.
I would say that I had some people ask me about loved ones that passed away, like fathers or grandmothers, stuff like that. Be careful like you said, who you invite, because you really do not know what you're dealing with.
Yep.
There's a specific way that you go through inviting a loved one or somebody back in, I believe. And, you just have to go about it the right way. If you don't know what you're doing, don't mess with it at all.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And as for the chat going on in there, the thing is, you can't exercise a location unless you have confirmed evidence to present to the church. They won't sanction an exorcism of a location or a person until there's actual physical evidence captured. They're very strict on it. And it's been, especially with the movies that have been coming out, they're a lot more strict about it. You can do a type of exorcism, like a cleansing by yourself, but to fully rid demonic entity from your home, it would have to be a sanctioned exorcism for it to be completely your best chance to get rid of it. But then once it's gone, it's up to the homeowner or the people involved to keep it out. If you let negativity take you over or you become in a vulnerable state, it can always come back.
Yes. And I've heard quite a few cases that people do end up when they try to cast it out themselves, or even if a priest comes in and blesses the home and tries to my mind's drawing a blank. Try to exercise that out of the house or whatever. 9 times out of 10, you got to do it like 2 or 3, 4 times before it's actually gone.
Yep.
Because even after,
go ahead.
Because even after like the first time you do it, or you have a priest come in do it, or a demonologist or whatever, the second time around, when you like 2-3 weeks later, it'll come back stronger and angrier than ever.
Yep.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, what if it comes back as you start having dreams, say like of that person, that loved one, when you're experiencing these phenomena?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time, Jaro? I'm sorry. I was busy reading the chat. I'm sorry.
What if you start having dreams of this person that you are believing that you are having this phenomena, say a loved one, you start having dreams about them.
Okay.
And they're not bad dreams, they're good dreams, loving dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Caring,
Are you asking what it means, or are you asking?
Does that mean that that's the person, or does that mean that there's still, somebody messing with you, a spirit?
It's.
I would say it's probably.
Why would I pull that chain, to actually invite that into me, that entity into my life, if I wasn't still sure, even though that I'm having dreams maybe of that person that I loved, and that's the person I believe that's giving me these signs or whatever.
Go ahead, Dave. If you want to answer them, go ahead.
Just trying to piece it together.
It's a hard question,
It is. I mean, I know.
How do I really? I don't want to invite something that ain't real.
I mean, me personally, I would never invite anything, regardless, because even if you're as sure as you possibly
just let it play. Just let it play.
Yeah, I mean, The risk would be a demon being invited in because they know everything about you, all your vulnerabilities, your weaknesses, how to get to you, and they use that against you. I mean, it might take a while, but they're very patient and methodical, and they will wait in your most vulnerable time. That's when they'll get you.
Yeah, when you're at your lowest point.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, I've
I've
seen that play out numerous of times on people that I cared about, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard cases where people have invited what they thought was a loved one in, and it's stayed with them for a long time.
Yep.
And it turns out that it wasn't who they thought it was.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. You have to be very careful. Don't invite nothing, I believe, into your home.
Yep. I mean, you could always try to ask its name. If it'll give you the name. I mean,
But even then, you have to be weary because
you do.
the trickster.
It is.
If it's somebody like Zozo, that's a big no-no.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of them demons that will trick you. They'll actually pretend they're children, you know, children or people that you love.
Yep.
I heard that they can even take the form of your people that has passed away before, like your grandmother or your grandfather, or your mother, or your father, or a brother or sister that passed away. They can actually take the form of what you feel comfortable with to see, and then they'll taunt you through that way of communicate, you know.
Yep.
Let's see in the chat. Good night, Sean. Mr. DB Cooper 77 says, I've seen cases where it said that the poltergeist activity was actually caused by an individual. Yes. I've seen and heard about those cases too.
You want to explain more, like how he means, like I understand what he's saying, but there might be other people out there.
Yeah, there's some people have a tendency of like causing activity for whatever special power or whatever you want to call it, that it's all surrounded around that certain individual.
It's like they have a frequency about themselves that they attract that kind of physical, property, that poltergeist experience.
Yeah, and Ford 72 says he's got 2 questions. No, never talk to them or engage, and because it's like inviting. Well, it's. I mean, you can never tell. I mean, as far as never talking to them, I mean, we do engage talk, but that's only, we don't actually, like, we don't go to a cemetery and say, okay, we're gonna start doing an EVP session on a digital recorder in the middle of a graveyard. We don't go looking for them. The only way that we actually go looking for them is when we get a phone call or an email saying that Mr. John Smith, has a business, in Nashua, New Hampshire, and they have something going there, and then we go up and take a look around, and we try to find the client answers. That's the only way we go looking for them. Other than that, we don't just purposely just go out, and just go looking for them. And it's not really like inviting them either, because it's inviting them. It would be like, okay, well, you find out, okay, say you're talking to someone and say, okay, well, this is your grandma, right? Your grandpa, or your mother or your father, and you say, oh, well, that's okay. Well, you can stay here as long as you want. That's, you can't invite anything, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
Because even if you go to a location and you think you might have something that you have to either bless the house or whatever to get rid of it, you can burn sage and whatnot. But that doesn't mean that it's gonna get rid of it. It might be quiet for a little while, and like I said, it'll come back stronger and worse than ever.
Yep.
And Mr. D.B. Cooper says, like, at first it was the question of life after death. Now there are ghosts, poltergeists, demons, shadow people. What really happens?
I think the longer you battle that same demon, and you realize it gets stronger from reading your emotions and shit like that.
Yes. And Miranda X says, how would they not follow you after an investigation? Would that not be possible? Absolutely, it's possible. It is possible. But the thing is that some of us wear protection crystals, or some of us wear crosses. I mean, whatever the team members' preference is, that their religion, that's what they bring with them. I mean, we got people on the team that are empaths, and she makes her own protection jewelry and whatnot from different crystals, and makes like little medicine bags with the crystals and stones, and you name it.
Yeah.
But we also, it's like me personally, I'm Roman Catholic. I think I mentioned this before. During every investigation, I get down on one knee and say a prayer. And that's actually something that we should do, Dave. We should all just join hands in a big circle before we start an investigation and say a prayer.
Yeah. Something we can definitely look into that. I think we'd have to talk to the team, because everyone has different
Correct.
faiths and all that.
But it doesn't worry me, because if you're forceful enough, as far as, to, like, after your investigation, before you even leave, you just simply say, rather forcefully, you are not welcome here. Do not attach to my equipment. Do not attach to the car. Do not attach to any member on the team. They don't want you. You need to remain here. Of course, it's not said quite like that, but it's you get the drift.
Yep.
You know, and then when I get home, I say it again, just in case if it did still attach. I mean, I got kids, so I don't want to bring anything home to the kids. And that's my biggest fear. You know, so I say it again right before my key hits the lock. I say it again. Just to make sure that nothing comes through the door with me.
Yep. Yep. Want to have a strong mindset and try to be as positive as you can. You want all that positive energy. It'll help protect you.
Yep. And actually, I want to show this. This is what Tammy made for me, and maybe she can make them for the rest of the team. I think she said she was going to at one point. She might have already done it, but she's been the death of her mom and everything.
Exactly.
You know?
A lot going on.
Hold on.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So she has actually made this. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I don't know what kind of stone that is, but it's almost like I don't even know. She could look at it and tell you exactly what it is, but this is what she made me for protection.
Yep. My sister probably could too. She's learning that from Tammy, actually.
Yeah, Food 72 says, so having a strong mindset helps. Cool. Yes, it does. And Mr. DB Cooper 77 says, faith in anything that doesn't give the dark force energy seems like a plus. And Ford 72 asks, how many demons has your team encountered?
So far, 0. That's a number I hope to keep very low. It's not that common. I mean, it's like we said earlier, there is an uptick in the amount of cases coming in with those around the world. But usually it doesn't happen too often. There's someone we know in the field that's been in the field for 20 plus years that's only experienced 4 cases in those 20 years. So it's kind of a rare occurrence, but it is on the uptick. And of those 4 cases she's dealt with, 2 of them were in the past 2 years. So that just shows that it's something we have to be very cautious and wary about, especially now going forward.
What the heck was that?
I have no idea.
But even though that Dave and myself have started doing research on possibly becoming demonologists, we know for a fact that we're not ready or strong enough to deal with something like that if it goes down. So we are going to either find somebody that is a demonologist a full-blown demonologist that knows and strong enough and knows exactly what to do. Or either that or hand the case over to a team, another team that we trust that has somebody that can actually deal with that type of situation.
Yep.
And that's what the whole thing is about, is no matter who helps, it's the bottom line is that who gets the client help. That's all we care about. What the heck is that?
I don't know. That's weird. I mean, since I've been starting to look into this field, I have talked to quite a few demonologists. So, I mean, I'm learning, and I could always ask them for help on cases too. And I'm sure they know a ton of people that we could reach out to. But it always comes down to, we want to help the client first. We want to make them safe, feel at ease in their own home, empower them to take back their own home. And so it is a home for them where they're not scared, because demons, they thrive off of fear. They get stronger the more scared you are. So definitely having that strong mindset helps protect you against them.
That is correct. I mean, even if, we get asked all the time, aren't you scared when you go into a client's house or a residence? Of course we do. But you know what the difference is? We can't show it, especially in front of the client, because you look like a fool, for one. And for two, if there is something there, they get to single that person out who's scared the most. And that's just a regular spirit. We're not even talking about demons at this point.
Yep. If it's a regular spirit, it'll target pretty much you and everyone around you, whereas a demon will specifically single you out and make it so you're the only person experiencing the phenomenon. So then you have no one to confirm it with. So then they're hoping that the people you tell won't believe you, and that'll start dragging you down mentally and wearing you out. Because demons, they thrive on fear, and they love being anonymous. They don't want to be known, which is why they tend to replicate poltergeist activity. Because if people blame it on activity that poltergeist is causing, like almost everyone does, then they can take longer to be found out, and they can get stronger.
Yes. But what time did we come on? It was late, wasn't it?
Yeah. Says we've been on for an hour, at least.
But the thing is that it's excuse me.
I'm gonna answer this question here. I grew up in a house that was extremely active, and a lot of it, I don't know exactly what it was. I wish I could go back and investigate it now. But I grew up with it for a good 10 years. That's what got me into the paranormal in the first place. And as I got more experienced in the field, I personally want to help as many people as I can. And that in turn makes me want to learn all areas of the field, including demonology. A lot of people won't research demonology because they're too scared. They don't think they're up for it. And me, I embrace that. I want to help as many people as I can. especially in cases where people are frightened and people just feel hopeless. So definitely, now that I've been in the field for a while and I have the contacts, I started to really research it. And it's definitely an area I feel drawn to. It just feels like something I have to do. And like I said, I just want to help people. That's my main goal. I've experienced so much in my life so far that I use that to help people understand what they're dealing with, what they're going through.
Excuse me. Yes. Dave, Mr. DB Cooper 77 has voiced his concern to me about the both of us researching and studying this part of the paranormal. And he said to be extremely careful.
Yep.
He doesn't think that we should be, but he understands. He understands and respects our decision. And I told him that we would be careful, and if it was something that we couldn't handle, that we would get somebody to come in to do it for us.
Exactly. I mean, our safeguards right now, because I've learned some of the first things I've learned in demonology are the warning signs for it. There's 3 stages. There is infestation, oppression, and then possession. Infestation is very subtle. You could have things happen once in a while, but they always happen in threes. Like I said earlier, the dreams, 3 nights in a row you could have, and then nothing. You could have something bad happen to your car 3 days in a row, and then nothing happens. Little like knocks in the walls, 3 in succession of 3s, or just happenings very subtle, and you just pass them off like, oh, it's just house creaking or the wind outside or stuff like that. Like I said, the demons thrive on anonymity, whatever, being anonymous. I can't even talk right now. Then once they gain power, it begins onto oppression, where they start being more known. You start getting foul smells, things start disappearing, levitating. They really start to target you a little bit more, to wear you down to the point where you're vulnerable, and they can then progress to the next and final stage, which is possession. There is a 4th stage that doesn't happen often, and that would be death. But like I said, there's very few cases with that, and it's something that usually people pick up on what's going on once it hits the oppression stage, and that's usually when the exorcisms come into play or house cleansings from that, and then possession. That's when the exorcisms happen. But yeah, it's a very, you have to be very careful in this field, and I'm well aware of that. And like I said, this is something I want to do so I can help more people, especially because people are afraid to get into it, afraid to research it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cooper also said the last answer you gave, Dave, he said he's a great answer. And then he said, I just think it's like top of the line, front line paranormal research. Yes, it is.
Yep.
It's like going to battle. Exactly. And then he said, I commend you guys.
Right.
Thank you, Coop.
And then I just kind of lost my train of thought, but now I'm back on to it. Our safeguards for the team. If there's any warning signs at all, we drop what we're doing, leave the equipment in the house, and we leave until the morning. Then we go back and get our equipment and reevaluate what's going on. We talk over as a team how we're going to progress. At that stage, we'd figure out if we want to bring in a demonologist or refer our client to another team that specializes in this type of activity until we are able to take it on ourselves, at which case we would have members who would want to participate in that, who we wouldn't make any one of our members who don't want to be there during that type of activity to go. So that way we can just keep our team safe. And at that point, we also tell the clients, this is what's going on. You know, we're going to work as fast as we can to get you some help in here. And we'll reach out to the teams for them, and we'll get them in touch.
Yep. Any other questions? Vern, Gyro, you guys still there or what? You're awfully quiet. Probably fell asleep.
Probably. It's getting late.
Well,
A little late for us anyway.
oh, well, Vern lives out in Nevada. So.
No, he's not as late, but
right. Yeah. So so what do you think of what's in this? Yes, Ford 72. All this work that we do is all pro bono. We don't charge a dime. Nothing.
yep.
We pay for our own equipment that comes out of our own pockets. And the thing is that there are teams out there that do charge, and that's what's given other teams in the field a bad reputation.
Yep.
And we don't like it, and we don't think that's right. Well, do you, Dave, do you want to talk about any other cases that are coming up for the team, or?
I mean, we have a lot of, like I said to the team, it's going to be a busy year. It's going to be our first full year. And the possible cases are already lining up. But I'm definitely, I'm looking forward to the SK Pierce, which we're going to do. I know the rest of the team is too.
Yes. Yes. You know, it's actually more exciting. We invited our sister team out in Colorado to come join us on that investigation. And that's actually the first time that we're all going to be investigating together at the same time. And that's very exciting.
Yep. And that'll happen pretty much at the beginning of the busy season for us. That'll probably be the calm before the storm.
Oh. Yes. The calm before the storm.
Yep.
And I'm ready. It's been such a long time since we as a team have done an investigation. I mean, the last one was our first one back in November. And I believe that we're going back to that same location coming up, correct?
Yeah, another it's an area property we know has some activity going on. To what extent, it's very elusive. But it's a good investigation for all of us to kind of start things off and get on the same page and knock the rust off from the winter, because the winters are slow periods up here anyway. I mean, if we got a call from a client that needed help, we drop everything and go out there, no matter if it's a blizzard or whatever. We make our best effort to get out there to help, but we don't schedule any planned investigations during the winter, especially outdoors.
And if anything knows anything about New England weathers are unpredictable.
Yep. We were actually, I think I was hoping for an early March start, and we just got, what, two big storms now? So
Yeah.
we have to push that back to
A third one coming.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping I don't have to push it back to April.
Yes, let it storm. Yeah, that. Hey, Gyro. Gyro's back. Vern's back. Did you guys freeze up or what?
You can't even hear me. I'm talking away. I had myself on mute. I was saying Pennsylvania is pretty much like New England anymore. The damn weather's so unpredictable. That's why I'm hoping to leave here and to go to Florida.
Yep.
Around June or July. I'm not sure what yet. It's not concrete, but it's either June or July. I'll be in Florida.
Hey, Coke Man. The heck is that?
That was Vern.
Okay, no matter who talks,
That ain't Vern.
they sound like a chipmunk.
Yeah,
Come on.
Vern.
Okay.
Also in the chat there, Ford 72. We are considering live investigations at some point. I can't even understand what's going on now.
See, hybrid. A hybrid child's online.
Okay. What? All right. Okay, Vern, you're being a gorilla. I'm gonna mute you for a second. You're muted.
Gorilla.
Vern, it was you. I don't know what the heck is going on, but
He's a hacker.
You were causing the chipmunk voices, whatever it was. Not really. I know it's not your fault, but for some reason, when you came on and unmuted yourself when you first came back on, that's when those voices started.
Alvin and his brothers.
All right. Well, yeah, that's I still want to try to find like some abandoned hospitals or some forts, Fort Revere we have to try to contact too.
I think after we do the SK Pierce, I'm going to reach out to them since SK Pierce is a very well-known place, haunted location in Massachusetts. Actually, I think it's ranked number 2 in Massachusetts and number 9 in all of the U.S., I believe, from one of the polls I saw. I think once we get that out of the way, I'm going to reach out to the people who run Fort Revere.
Well, do you Why don't you tell just a small portion of what some of the claims are, and just like, just to not even go into the whole history, but just a little tiny bit of the history, just to give the viewers a taste.
Of which location?
SKPS Mansion.
All right, yeah. I mean, people report seeing a child run around the hallways, up and down the stairs, apparitions of a woman in a room they call the Red Room, where I forget the exact year. It was in early 1900s, or I think it was during the Great Depression or something like that, where a prostitute was actually murdered. S.K. Pierce's first wife also passed away in 1890, around there, or 1888. She passed away from a bacterial infection that was extremely painful. It actually started eating her flesh, from what I've read. Then in the basement, there's reported that a man spontaneously combusted and was killed. So there's a lot of activity down in the basement as well. Seeing shadows, hearing voices, chanting, things like that. Objects have been moved, doors have been opened and closed, and they strictly tell people when they investigate, do not provoke these spirits, as they're highly intelligent. People who have provoked them have left with scratches and have felt like they were being pushed downstairs. So luckily for us, we don't provoke on investigations. We're very respectful towards anything spirit-wise or activity-wise going on. So hopefully we won't have to deal with any of that. But it is a very active location from all reports that I've read. It's also been on TV and a couple shows a few times too, I believe. I know it was on what was the name of that? I don't really like the guy though.
Oh, you must be talking about Paranormal State?
No, it wasn't on that one. The other one.
That was the guy from Pennsylvania on
Yeah.
Penn State University.
Yeah.
Ghost Adventures?
Yep, it was on Ghost Adventures, and I think the show My Ghost Story, I think those were the two it was on. And that was on with the previous owners before 2015, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm interested in going into Florida, moving down there. There's a lot of places down there that are supposedly haunted. I was at a couple of them last time I was down there. Fort Myers, I think, was one of them. There's the lighthouse.
Yep.
We couldn't get in the lighthouse. The line was so long.
Yeah, he's talking about the St. Augustine Lighthouse.
Yeah,
Yep.
St. Augustine. Yep.
Let's see.
Beautiful place.
I've never been. It's a place I want to visit one day.
Yeah, very, very beautiful, friendly people. I'm telling you what. It's like no other.
Mr. DB Cooper says, you guys think that the ghosts know exactly what you're doing and ignore you? Go quiet?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yep.
I do.
It's an intelligent haunting. It'll definitely know what you're doing.
Man, it's standing back looking at you like, look at that asshole. What can I do next to fuck with them?
Yep.
There's times where we go to an investigation. I mean, Me and Dave have been investigating for a while, anyways. Even before we started the team that we're on now. I mean, you can even ask Dave. I'm sure Dave will agree with me. We've been at investigations where we have just going about a business, doing an investigation, and it's so quiet you can hear a pin drop. And then afterwards, like, yeah, I didn't feel anything. Did you feel anything? No, and just we didn't get anything. It wasn't until after we started going through all the evidence, all the video and audio, that we start to realize slowly but surely, you know what? I caught this, and then he would say, "Yeah," and I caught that one. Yeah, and it would go back and forth like that, and then we'll start building up a case, and next thing you know, what we thought that there was no activity turns out to be a very highly active location. It does happen like that.
Yep.
I'm curious. Is there any meditation routines that you go into before you go on these hunts?
I personally don't.
No.
I'm sure there are some investigators that do, but I know I don't. I just kind of go in ready to find answers. I expect nothing. I always expect nothing is going to happen. You have to go in, even though I believe in the paranormal, you have to go in as a skeptic. Because if you go in thinking, oh, yeah, this is definitely going to be paranormal, you could hear, let's just say, a creak or something. You're like, oh, that's paranormal, when it's in fact just the pipes from the heating system or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or say you see a blind move. It's like, oh, that's paranormal. And it was just actually a draft from the window because the windows are old and they let air in. So you have to go in as a skeptic. And like I said, even if I do believe in the paranormal and have experienced it, I have to re-experience it, and has to pretty much convince me that, okay, with beyond a doubt, something is going on here and we can't explain it.
Yeah, exactly. I just heard other people say before, like, to get in touch with the other side, that sometimes meditation, or they put themselves through like I don't know what you would call it, like a hypnosis type of state of mind, to where you can actually get in touch with the other side. If that actually is true, or I don't know. Just curious.
I'm sure it is. I mean, there's tons of different tactics all throughout the world that investigators use.
Would it be more helpful to do something like that, or would it be a lost cause to try?
It's something I can't comment on because I don't know, because I've never done that. I mean, I'm sure some people say it works for them, and others would probably say it doesn't. It's just a matter of opinion, I think, and personal preference.
Yeah. That sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Fluid 72 is asking, when is your next investigation?
I believe it is tentative for March. Was it 24th? End of March? I know it's that.
I think so, yeah.
And I'm still working out. It's going to, of course, depend on weather, which right now you can't predict. The weather people can't even predict it half the time.
How about
it? But no, it's actually March 23rd into the 24th, I believe, and that could change.
You'd have a better chance asking that Ouija board.
Nah.
That's one way to invite spirits in that you don't want. That's one of the first questions we have to ask.
Dun dun dun.
Interviewing a client.
I won't let one of them in my house.
No, actually, that's yeah. A skeptic mind is correct because sometimes what we do in like on our last investigation, even though it was our first investigation, but because we're seasoned, we know what we were doing and knew what we were looking for. So if something happened, we would go right to that spot and try to debunk it right away.
Yep. Like, I'm trying to think. We had reports of a cabinet being opened. We spent probably a good 20 minutes trying to figure out if there's any plausible way it can open. Step on the ground, see if it has a little give in the floor that would tilt it so the door would open. But the door had a magnetic like lock almost to it. So we couldn't get it to open with that. Even if it was left a crack open, the magnet would pull it closed. So we went in and probably spent 20, 25 minutes just trying to debunk that alone during the setup. And just what you have to do. You have to be vigilant. It takes time. You have to take your time and just make sure you go through everything thoroughly.
Absolutely. But yeah, I just want to humbly apologize again for coming on so late. Every time that I was trying to come on, even before waiting, to stop broadcasting, I got booted off like 3 times. So there's still issues going on. And I finally figured out how and why to stop me from getting booted, which was to be on my phone the same time that I'm on my laptop. And I don't know how that's controlling my live, but somehow it is, because nobody really froze and we're all still here.
Yep.
So hopefully that whatever Google or whatever else is YouTube, Google, whoever, hopefully they figure this thing out soon, because not too long ago I couldn't use my lower third, and then it was back for like 2 days, and now I can't use it again.
Yeah, we're tired of this broken shit. Get it right, Google. Get it right, YouTube.
Ford 72, if you think an Ouija board is just a game, you go buy one, brother.
No, I wouldn't do that. But
don't play that game.
A lot of people think it is a game because it's been in movies and all that. They even have it in toy stores, from what I've heard. But it's definitely not a game.
It's right in the damn game aisle with the toy section.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yep.
So any, 5-year-old or, on up can go right there and pick it up.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. That thing is so mass produced, it isn't even funny. I won't go near it. I won't even allow them in my house.
Yep, I won't go near one either.
If someone is doing, say if we were invited to a seance and someone pulls them out, see ya.
I don't even think I'd really consider going to a seance, because that's another way you could invite spirits in that you don't want.
The only way that I would even consider a seance is if, and Dave can back me up on this one too, is if maybe like Carl Johnson or Keith Johnson, who are twins, and they're both demonologists, and
who I think it was Keith Johnson that actually started pointing me in the direction I needed to go to research about demonology. He He was one of the people I reached out to. So I'm very grateful for what he's told me about and the direction he sent me in so far.
You imagine like the knowledge that Aleister Crowley had in demonology.
Okay, that's freaking me out, Vern. The baby is blinking. What the heck, Vern?
Oh, man.
Oh, it's
You
his
know who Aleister Crowley is?
Yes, know whom Aleister Crowley is. Yes, they also sell the Ouija boards in Walmart, right in the toy section. Right near the little kids' toy section, actually, tell you the truth. At least they do around here.
Yeah, it's right next to all the Fisher Price toys.
Oh, man.
Who is the crazy baby? Who do you think it is? Goop. That's Mr. Vern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna end this for tonight. And like I said, I humbly apologize for coming on so late. So a demon's more apt to getting access through Ouija boards or just paranormal activities? I would say more lines are coming through. See, on a Ouija board, you don't. I mean, that thing moves on you, and you don't know who the heck you're talking to, and you could be letting in anything that. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can't close the portal.
No, I think they have more of an access to communicate with you using a Ouija board than just being you asking them questions. You know, it's giving them something to tune into to communicate.
Yep. Just think of it as, like I mentioned a couple times earlier, they love being anonymous, demons. And the best way to be anonymous is through something that spells out names or letters or something like that. And they can manipulate you to exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah, it can be like an antenna for them.
Exactly. And you might not even just have one. You could invite several demons into your home through those.
Jesus
Vern.
Christ. I just seen that.
He's a character.
Yep.
You're lovely.
But the thing
One
is
of a kind, brother.
But the thing is that with I mean, with Ouija board, it's not something that you can just throw in the trash to get rid of it. You're supposed to burn it in order to get rid of it, and there's a special way to burn it. And I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can't.
I've seen it where you put it in the bag after you burn it. Put the ashes in the bag, tie the bag in a knot, and then you swing it over your head saying, demons go away, demons go away, demons go away. Then you throw it, and wherever it lands, you dig the hole there and you bury it. I don't know if that's true, but...
You got a question from Mr. DB Cooper. David, if someone right now called you and told you that they are having experiences with the Ouija, what would you advise them to do with the board?
I would honestly, I'd reach out to one of the demonologists I know and ask for their opinion on it, because I'm still learning.
Correct.
So I could then I could relay that information or even get them in contact with the people I reached out to and how to dispose of it. And then at that point, we can go in and try to figure out what type of experiences are going on. And if it is demonic in nature, that's when we just hand it over to a demonologist or a team that specializes in that at this point. in the future, like I said before, I want the team to be able to handle those type of calls professionally without having to outsource, so we can get the fastest possible or quickest help to the client.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I think you're awesome. You're always like for that professional point. If you don't know, there's always somebody you think, that you could ask.
Exactly. I mean, this field is so, no one knows everything. It's always something new coming up. There's always new equipment, new experiences, new reports of things going on. Everyone's always learning in the field. Most of the time,
I appreciate that about you.
Most of the time, people help each other in the field. Like, all right, this is what I experienced. This is how I dealt with it, and you use that to help other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we all kind of share knowledge.
I appreciate that about you, man. That's pretty cool.
That's it, exactly. If we go to a location and then say a year or two later, there's another team that goes to the same location and they contact us and say, okay, we're going to this location, what can you tell us? We can pull out our files and send them our files or copies of our files, and then they look at it and maybe they can take it a little further or do something a little different that we didn't think of.
Yeah, kind of like how MUFON is.
And expand on it. And if that's the way that it goes, great. That's helping the field grow, and that's helping the client. That's all we care about.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
But yeah, we're definitely really highly considering about doing live investigations. But those live investigations will not be over here on Paranormal Underworld. They will be on East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators on YouTube.
Yep. Might want to subscribe and follow that. I believe we will possibly be getting some captured evidence up there in the next month or so from our last investigation. So definitely keep an eye on that.
Say the name of that again.
East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators.
Yep. I should actually add that link to our website. I'm going to make another page for that.
Yeah, because then we can just put videos up.
Yep. Have it directly linked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I'm already subscribed to that or not. I'll have to check it out. No, that's what it's all about. Is like getting, people to not be afraid, getting the information out there, have them communicate with each other so they can get the knowledge.
Yeah.
A little bit more,
But
a little bit of knowledge always helps. Even if it ain't the answer that you want, a little bit always helps.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I just went to search for the team name on YouTube too. It didn't come up. So maybe we add a link to it in the description after.
Yeah, hold on one second, guys.
Yeah.
I know it's there because I've seen
it. I've seen it pop
Banana.
up.
I know, but why isn't it popping up now? That's what I don't understand.
Keywords, everyone in the paranormal field has paranormal in their keywords. So
true. Very true.
That is probably contributing to why. I mean, CCPI comes up.
And where does it go?
There's his third on the list.
EC.
Let me see.
Yeah.
It should be just East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators.
No.
It should come right up.
I can't get on it till after I get off on my some on my phone, but
1 second.
I'm getting a laptop eventually here.
Yay! Get a good camera.
I have one, but the camera sucks like hell. I have an old HP.
Oof.
Like the slowest damn laptop on the face of the earth. There was this one game I wanted to download on it. It was called Arma 3. It took 2 days. 2 days to download.
I have Arma 3.
2 days.
That's a good game.
Yeah, it took 2 days, and then I had to compress the zip files for some of the skins, like the vehicle skins.
Yep.
Yes.
That was bullshit. I got rid of it. Well, I still got it, but I don't use it.
Yep.
That game's awesome, by the way.
It is so awesome. I have actually my own server for it. Let's see. Oh, that's an interesting. I've seen that.
You see how they do the role play now?
Yep.
All right. This is the technical issue. One of them that I'm also having, where it is my laptop is running so slow.
Yeah.
Because this whole time I've been sitting here trying to get the link for everybody.
I've been browsing. I don't see.
Yep. Well, I get the link anyway. Bang.
Oh, you got it?
Bang. Yep. Yeah,
Cool.
bang. All right. You go there. It would help if I hit the send button. It's not letting me post it. I don't know why.
To what? The chat?
Yep. Because I am under that and not under mine. I'm an idiot. Hold on, guys.
What'd you do?
I posted it under because I had to go into the team account, get the link, and then come back out, and then I forgot to switch it back over to Paranormal Underworld.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And that's why it won't let me, because that's not East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators is not a moderator on Paranormal Underworld. But I'm going to remedy that real soon. Yeah, we got 6 subscribers on that channel so far.
All right. Still early. Have nothing really on it right now. That will change.
Nope. Yep. Yay.
There it is. Yep. I'm actually going to go subscribe to that. So make sure I'm subscribed. Yeah, I am.
But that's the team channel. So And Vern and Gyro, I don't know if you're can hear me, but I'll post that link. Yeah, UFO bro, we're still streaming, but we're on our way out. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning here. Okay, on that note. All righty. Okay. So let's go down the chat real quick.
Yep.
Come on. Okay. This is driving me nuts, Vern. Vern. Sorry, Vern. Had to meet you. He's like, why? 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 Okay. Thank you, Miranda, for coming by. Appreciate it. Just going down the list. Sean. Ford 72. Coke Man. Mr. DB Cooper.
Kruger was here as well.
Yep. Kruger. UFO Bro. Hey, Kruger, you're still here, huh? Hiding out in the background? That's cool. You're all right, brother.
Out of sight, out of mind, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, I wanna thank you all for coming by. Really appreciate it.
Except that asshole, bro.
Good night, Miranda. You have a good night. If I want to do another one tomorrow night, because tomorrow night's supposed to be my night, and I was supposed to be doing one on Wednesdays and Friday nights, but the thing is that I've been having so much trouble and so many problems that I skipped last night and was going to do it tonight instead, but then tonight came and I couldn't get on when I wanted to come on, and it took me like an hour and a half to come on to try to get the settings to work right. So it's I don't know. It's supposed to be tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually the main night that I moved the show because I was going every other night. And then I just moved it completely to Friday nights, and then I just wanted to do Wednesday and Friday nights, but then so far Wednesday hasn't worked out for me, so I don't know. But it's definitely going to be on Friday nights. If I can get this, whatever Google and YouTube are doing, it's screwing the whole platform up. So I don't know. I don't know. But it is supposed to be tomorrow night, but I know that Dave has to work tomorrow night, so
Yep, if it's late enough, I might make an appearance.
What time is it? Oh,
all right. But
See.
yeah, I can hold off and wait because I was setting it up for 9:30, but if you're gonna be, I don't mind waiting, and you can come on. Because I know you're gonna come home and eat and everything too before you come on.
Yeah, and I have a feeling tomorrow's gonna be a real busy day, and it's a nice 11-hour shift. So
It's
we'll see.
always fun. And it's always fun.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would just want to let everybody know that they can find me Paranormal Underworld on Twitter at I'm the Real Jax. You can also find our team on Facebook, hashtag ECCPI. I will post the link. You can also find us on the World Wide Web, www.eccpi-paranormal.com. We don't have a Twitter page, do we?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll have one. We'll have one set up.
You will now.
hopefully the summer. I want to get it set up before we do SK Pierce.
Fix that problem.
We'll look into it, and we'll get that rolling. There we go.
Thank you, Miranda, sweetie. I'm glad you like the shows.
Yeah, awesome show, man.
There we go. That's our Facebook link.
But
and there's more. And here's our link to our website as well if you want to check that out.
yes. There's the links right there. A little earlier, I gave you the link to the not the Facebook, the YouTube channel, and Dave just gave you guys the link for the Facebook and the website, which down in the bottom in the description afterwards, I'll make sure that all those links are there.
Oh, look at that! It doesn't work.
Which one?
Facebook.
It doesn't work.
404 error.
Surprised me, Facebook.
No, Facebook's iffy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate that freaking Facebook shit.
But if you search on Facebook, East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators, we should pop up on there. Oh, the website's not working.
If you prefer Facebook.
Oh.
I think a lot of people are preferring YouTube over Facebook nowadays.
Yeah, we're actually trying to set up, actually have a phone number so that way we could just have just a hotline set up somewhere and just have a answer machine or just have the phone company do the answer machine that way. And then just
like automated.
Check messages periodically to make sure that to get our messages. And of course, me and Dave would be the only ones that would be doing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, neither link's working. That's wonderful.
That's not good.
I wonder if it's just in the chat it's not working.
Well,
I don't know
whatever.
if you can post chats if he's or links on his chat.
I might not be able to. Maybe that's it.
He has to do it, I believe.
Who?
You.
You.
Me? You're well,
Yeah.
no, because you're a moderator.
Yeah, but still, I don't believe that you can. I'm not sure about that.
All right.
I'll take them out.
If not, I will take care of it, and I will put it
Just
down
throw
in
it
the
in the,
description.
Yeah, description. Best way.
Cool
So,
beans, buddy.
okay, I want to thank. What the heck, Vern? Why do you got me?
He's
Why do you get me
hacked
with
everybody's system.
Wow, look at this. Look at.
Nice.
Now you can do it. He'll put you up on
All right.
full screen. It's everybody's turn tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to thank Vern for coming on and making me look like a fool.
There he is.
Gyro, thank
No
you for
problem.
coming on. There he is, Mr.
That's
Vern.
Vern.
And Dave, I really highly appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yep. No problem. Always a pleasure.
Nothing but love for you.
Yeah, it's been awesome talking to you again, Dave.
Yeah, I'll be trying to get on a little more.
Okay. Vern, say goodnight. Oh, no good night? Okay.
I hope to see y'all again soon. It's been a real good experience tonight, fellas.
Yes.
Vern's trolling you.
Well, on that note, until next time, stay spooky, everybody.